Welcome, family, friends, everyone. Lincoln, New Mexico, Los Placitos del Rio Bonito. I'd like everyone to come out. Lincoln, it's a hell of a place. We'll take you back, starting with a feud between the Murphy-Dolan faction and the Tunstall faction, beef contracts to the Muscaleros. We'll take you all the way to the 5-day battle and then to the escape of the kid. So come along, I'll take you through history.
Lincoln is a sleepy little town in the hills of New Mexico, made famous by one of the most violent periods in the history of the state, when it became the center of the turbulent Lincoln County War from 1876 to 1879. We'll start our journey at the old Lincoln County Courthouse. One of the most remembered gunfighters of the period was William Bonney, also known as Billy the Kid. From here, he made his infamous escape in April 1881 while he was awaiting execution for the murder of Sheriff William J. Brady.
We're here at the courthouse, last place I escaped. Shackled, unarmed, had no idea what I was going to do. They had the scaffolding built, and my pardon hadn't come through. So I had to do what I had to do to get out and survive. That just meant 2 lives were taken, and I got away. What was later known as the courthouse, as right now. Before it was the house. Murphy-Dolan faction actually owned it, and they were the only mercantile in the county. Lincoln County was pretty good sized. Till Tunstall came along and hired me. But here, a lot of bad things happened. Probably the biggest event that happened here was the murder of Houston I. Chapman, who was Mrs. McSween's lawyer. After the death of her husband in Tunstall, he was murdered right here, right in the middle of the street from the house. I know who did it. And I ain't said nothing till I get my pardon.
When a rival store set up in 1876 by Alexander McSween and John Tunstall, it soon spawned what was to become the Lincoln County War. The feud between the two factions for economic and political control lasted for 2 years, finally coming to a head on the 18th of February 1878 with John Tunstall's murder. Billy the Kid, who had been hired by Tunstall as a cattle guard, was deeply affected by the murder of Tunstall. This was officially the start of the Lincoln County War and the birth of the Regulators, with the Kid assuming leadership.
Here we're at the Tunstall Mercantile. It's the second mercantile in Lincoln County. Not only did he own a ranch, but he owned this. Just before the 5-day battle, he figured that they'd somehow be at war. So he had the shutters taken down off the windows and the doors replaced with metal plates in between the wood. He knew there was about to be a firefight. Too many politics and too small place. So he put metal plates in between the wood for a shutter indoors.
One incident followed another, with killings carried out on both sides. It came to an almighty climax on the 19th of July 1878, when McSween and his supporters, including Billy the Kid, were besieged in McSween's house by a new sheriff, George Pepin, and his men. The house was set on fire, and several people were shot dead as they fled the house, including an unarmed Alexander McSween. This became known as the 5-day battle.
We're at the location of the McSween house. It was burned by L.G. Murphy's men, and they want to say Colonel Dudley's men as well. Right here is where we were burned out. Tom Lafayette and I, we escaped. We got scot-free. We bailed over the fence, straight to the creek. That's the only way we got out. Come and get me, you sons of a motherless goat! Yeah! empty spot to the next to me here was where the McInnes house stood. It's where the majority of the 5-day battle took place. They tried to burn us out. Me and Tom Folliard were the last to escape, and we got out. It burned, but it didn't take this last wall. This last wall here was added onto by the state years later. It's kind of hard coming back to the place we were burned out of. Being here in Lincoln, it's bringing back memories. Not very good ones either. I show you the place of John Tunstall and Alexander McInnes, two of my best friends. They're supposedly buried right here, but I know where they're buried, and I ain't telling. This is the first courthouse in Lincoln. This is where I came to speak of my pardon with the governor. I wrote him 7 times. He never got back with me. I'll tell you right now, I'm still looking for that pardon. This here's the school, built after I was born, of course. Teach all the youngins about all the good I did. Yeah, I might be famous. There may have been a lot of famous people from Lincoln and Lincoln County. But this is what meant most to the people of Lincoln. The El Torreon. This was their tower of their only defense. Muscalero Indians had come off the hills and attack. This is where they went. This is what meant the most. The building I'm in front of now is Dr. Woods' house. Of course, built after I had passed on. But it was a good place for the people of Lincoln to go to when they were in time of need. As you can tell, I'm Billy the Kid, alias Brett McInnes. That's who I am. You can catch me here in Lincoln, Las Placitas del Rio Bonito. Right here at the last escape of Billy the Kid at the grounds, you'll find me here. Come on down, bring your family and friends. Sure as hell didn't have nothing like this back in my day.